What's good, y'all? I'm your astrologer open book. This is my partner.
Hey guys, this is Heratha. Welcome back to TruSpace.
Up and in this video, we are about to break down Mars and Sagittarius, what this transit is going to bring to all of us collectively, and what we can all do on an individual level to maximize this transit and to really start to tune into the jewels that Mars and Sagittarius is trying to teach us. So we're not playing catch up Mars Capricorn, our passions, our motivations are right in play and expanded as they should be. And within this video right now, we're going to break down exactly what's going to go, the type of pitfalls that you can come up into, and how to navigate this stuff with with ease, or at least with relative ease, or with that overarching understanding. So yeah, Mars and Sagittarius, this transit starting November 4th, entering into Sagittarius. And right as it's entering Sagittarius, because Saturn 0 degrees Pisces, you're immediately coming into this square with Saturn. How do you think that's kicking off this Mars transit in Sagittarius?
It's almost like as because Mars represents our passions, desires, our will, and our aggression, as in Sagittarius. So it's making us focus on taking action on our spirituality, our meaning and reasoning, and the way we go about our actions too. But with the square with Saturn, Saturn represents restrictions, boundaries, and as in Pisces represents our dreams and illusions. So as we're trying to maybe take actions on certain things related to spirituality and meaning and reasoning, we might feel a certain like stiffness or a square coming from how we restricted from our subconscious point of view, and we're learning to almost like take action and experience our spirituality, our morality, and meaning and reasonings that we're developing specifically coming from when Mars was in Scorpio, where we're transforming our passions and desires are taking power control of these issues. So when Mars right now is Sagittarius, we're more lighthearted. We have this broad perspective on how to take better actions and utilize our passions and desires more properly, and things like that. But Saturn in Aquarius is Saturn in Pisces. The challenge essentially is almost like the learning period, but basically.
100%, 100%. Mars and Sagittarius can go so well, like be so productive. I can see, like, that being like very athletic type of alignments, but I can see it causing a lot of restlessness too, where Mars has this
Mm-hmm.
energy, this potential, and Sag is such a broad area. uh you can kind of not really know where to start putting your energy, if you get what I mean. So it can be a lot of restlessness, and I bet a lot of people are at that point where you get to a lot of collective energy, but say you're like you're playing catch up type of shit. And once things get collective, it's like there's all this energy built up, but not necessarily the understanding of how to navigate everything. So, which leads to overwhelmingness. I can see Mars and Sagittarius creating a lot of restlessness, a lot of like big ideas, wanting to do big things, but not having that command over your energy like that. And then Saturn in Pisces is showing us that struggle is coming from a limitation within our belief system, just like what you were saying, within that realm being restricted. I feel a lot of us are being exposed right now into our false beliefs. um you know so was there's so much things that we're so think we're so solid on, that Saturnian energy. You think this is the basis of something, but in actuality, like, you don't know. Like, I look at like this flat earth type of conversation, which, man, I love flat earthers. Just even the have to be the type of person to question the status quo, and be able to think outside the box, I fuck with that. But then you go and hop into another box, then I guess it's not really that much better. But like they show the limitations of our belief systems, if you get what I mean, where like they would be arguing that everything is being lies being told to us, or everything is fake and stuff like that. And then look at the type of belief system that you can't trust anything within this world. And then everybody just believes NASA thinks that they're telling them everything 100%, and allowing them to build this thing, but it's something that nobody can verify, and it really has no direct consequence of our daily lives in any way. So we're all having like these belief systems and kind of like thinking things are solid within things that we genuinely don't know, that are genuinely aren't there. And I think that's a lot of the things that are being exposed right now with transits like that, and what we're going to experience more of as Saturn progresses through Pisces. But just limiting belief systems, and you're going to start realizing that why all of these things happening within our lives, why we're manifesting this. And I feel like this square with Mars and Sagittarius, it's kind of like a wake-up call. It's like this restlessness. It's like, why am I so restless? Why isn't my energy being put into the rightful avenues? Why isn't there more meaningful action being taken within my life? And it's that
Mm-hmm.
restlessness that's going to be
Mm-hmm.
that push to transform, to change that situation.
This sounds like Mars being like the college kid or like the teenager who's learning new information, and he might want to protest and things like that. But Saturn, his grandpa, been through multiple cycles of the same things, so he has more wisdom, and he needs to show Mars where to calm down, or where and how not to be as restless too. But he should also allow Mars and Sagittarius to express and learn and develop more meaning and reasoning.
I get what you mean 100%, because like most of the time, like we would figure it out. That's what we forget. Like as long as you keep on moving forward, as long as you keep on trying, as long as you push forward, like you'll figure it out. So it's that stagnation where niggas get lost. It's that stagnation where uh where you start to lose hope. But it reminds me of you wouldn't know, but it's kind of like when you would be tree planting and shit like that.
Mhm.
When you're planting a tree, you have to plant within specific densities. So and you're planting on the same land. So sometimes there's a tree that you already planted, or like there's things that you have to go around and shit like that. And a lot of niggas would start out slow at that job because they're looking at where they should go. But like when you move forward first, you see, like you're looking, trying to look ahead of you and trying to see where you're supposed to go. But when you go where you're supposed to go, you see the things that you were looking for, if you get what I mean. Kind of like driving too. You ever had, like, say if you're looking right in front of you when you're driving, you kind of start wiggling, but if you focus further down the road, you have way more stable control. So it's
Mhm.
like shit like that. That's what we're experiencing. That's how I look at that square. What about Mars being conjunct the sun? Um, for this full moon in Gemini, Mars is there with the sun in Sagittarius. And for the new moon that's going to happen later on in December, I think that's like in the December 20th, or like within that range, within that timeline. How do you think Mars being part of this moon cycle? It doesn't seem like a full. It's not starting with a new moon to a full moon. It's starting with a full moon to a new moon. How do you think that affects the
Mm,
transit?
I would say the Sun conjuncting Mars together in Sagittarius, coming from Scorpio. First, when the Sun and Mars conjuncted each other in Scorpio, it had a very aggressive tonality, especially with Scorpio having this kind of dark atmosphere. Mars and the Sun making it so intense in terms of where you're supposed to take action and how you're supposed to direct your passions and desires. But then when they moved to Sagittarius, the energy became much more light-hearted and is not as you're not paying attention to transforming things anymore. Your things are related to meaning and reasoning, spirituality, and things like that. But here with Mars, with the Sun, it's giving you a lot of energy to take actions on these things and your passionate desires. Like this is a lot of like masculine energy. It might
Mm-hmm.
even burn you out.
Yeah, 100%. Because um, most of the time, like we don't realize, we don't know what 100% focus is, man. Like we really don't know what that shit feels like. That's the type of shit where niggas start flying and niggas start, doing all that type of crazy shit when you're able to funnel consciousness like that, like 50% of your mind. That's when you get your geniuses and on the worldly level. But all I'm saying is that our capacity is so much higher. Um, that's when you're able to divert your focus, and that's what meditation is, where you're commanding back your awareness, when you're being aware of being aware, so that you could sharpen your skill of being aware, your skill of focusing, your skill of bringing your attention back to a singularity, to a single point. And beyond um spiritual enlightenment, that just generates a deep level of focus. And when you're able to divert high levels of energy with high levels of focus, shit manifests very, very quick. So a lot of us aren't used to that type of that level of focus, if you get what I mean. So when you're having this an extra surge of energy, that's what leads to a lot of things dissipating into other areas of life. Just like with Mars, like if you're looking at as a representation or metaphor for anger, you can be angry about certain things, but it bleeds into every single other area of your life, and even builds up physically within your body. So maybe that even too, maybe like sore muscles or inflammation, niggas gotta worry about that with Mars and Sagittarius. Would you say that?
No, 100% I agree with you because Mars in Sagittarius is gonna want to take action on multiple things because Sagittarius is broad and want to experience multiple things, so that leads to over expansions, and over expansion sometimes lead to inflammation, injuring itself. This is why a lot of Sagittarius damage their liver. This is what they eat. They associate that with Sagittarius, being alcoholism and things like acidity. It doesn't even deal with Jupiter itself.
Yeah, yeah. I believe that, man. You see, that's why it's so beneficial. That's why we have to change that paradigm, that thought, which I do think it has changed. We're not as malefic and benefic. Like we don't really use that language in astrology within this modern day anymore, because we start to understand that squares aren't all bad. Saturn's not all bad. We should be very grateful for this opening with this square with Pisces, because it's keeping us on track. It's like a reminder of what the immediate need is, what our
Mm-hmm.
actual blocks are, and then now what do you do with your energy? Whereas if you just have the energy without a clear set of what those blocks are, you can start investing into things that aren't going to give you a payout. So it's definitely, and then the sun being there, I feel like it's that's where that focus is coming in, for where a lot of focus is being generated into um that energy, that passion for expansion, for higher learning, for to take action on things that are meaningful. And if it gets doesn't get fulfilled, you look at the planets as needs. Looking at reading a lot of books and about astrology, and I love that description of the planets. Look at them as urges. Looking them at them as representing needs within our individual lives. So that Mars need for wanting to have purpose in the things that you take, that the level of fulfillment you have with your actions, like that's a real sense. And when that doesn't get fulfilled, that's when the frustration starts coming. That's when the anger starts coming. you know and now you're going to be angry about all different types of shit. Um, Especially with Sagittarius. And maybe now you're starting to use God's coming into the conversation, you're blaming things, or you're using God as an excuse, or you know, or like righteous wrath type of thing, maybe like like the righteous preacher type of energy. When you're not necessarily in a position to be that righteous, teacher, that God's warrior. But a lot of those things are going to start to being brought up. But it once you know that the what you're urged to do is for meaningful actions, you know where to redirect your energy into. 100%. And then Mars is going to trine Chiron in the North Node, um, up in Aries. How do you think that trine is going to assist us?
Well, probably to try and create opportunities, and with the North Node, which is directing us towards our spiritual path when it comes to developing, I guess, your character, how you express yourself, your image, who you are, who you're gonna be in the future with the North Node. So, but with the Sun and Mars conjunct each other in Sagittarius, this gives you all this energy to entertain and express multitude of like philosophical ways of doing things. So it's like dispersing your energy, but it's giving you like different forms to try out and making you like develop wisdom and things like that. So when it comes to the North Node, where you're supposed to direct essentially all this spirituality, you have like options, you have experience. So you combine this, make it more direct.
100%. And I bet that even helps with the North Node, whereas maybe Chiron's kind of bringing a level of familiarity with the mistakes, with being,
Mm-hmm.
wounded, with being hurt. So when the North Node kind of comes with its uncomfortability, it's like Chiron is like already kind of prepares you, like say like when your life is shit, like you're not really that surprised when shit, gets worse, if you get what I mean. So
Mm-hmm.
in a way that could be beneficial, because if shit happened when everything was nice, now it's fucking up the whole situation. So you kind of want to get shit piled on when shit is being piled on, if you get what I mean. Get it over and done with. And I feel like that's what that shrine is going to be like, where uh, you're gonna have more of a reason, and that library of experience, kind of tapping into all of your previous mistakes, and especially when it's coming into areas of, where your energy's going, or maybe self image, issues, how you see yourself, or um how you take action on things, um is what's going to help you, kind of a reminder of who you are and what you've been through and your struggles, and having you visualize where you want to go as an individual when it's just you and your energies, what's going to satisfy your basic urges, tying that under is how you get your Mars under wraps. You understand what it desires, and once you're able to provide that, then you can go for the excess. Then you can start use being the Mars that protects and defends other people, because Mars did what it needed to do in order to obtain strength. You know what I mean? Like a lot of niggas run away from that improvement arc, that time skip arc, you know but sometimes
Yeah.
that's what you need to get through the rest of the grand line, like you can't be lying to yourself like that. But um, that's what it is, or that's how I feel like that shrine is going to help out, kind of reminding you of those past mistakes that you have made, and kind of reminding you about that level of newness, kind of maybe reminding you that you've been through new situations, that you've been through newness. So as you're stepping into this new newness, to not be afraid, this is where things are supposed to be going. But as long as you move into these new ways of seeing yourself, with the intention of having your actions have meaning and purpose within your life, making all of your actions, and this is hard. This is a hard point to get into. This is why spirituality is so powerful and physicalizing spirituality into rituals, why they are so powerful. This is a good time to maybe start developing some rituals, to start physicalizing mind states that you would like to be in, and finding physical representations to start doing that. If you have no ideas, do simple shit, like do some yoga poses that focus on like stability, something like that, just so you can bring stability within your life, and you're doing an action that represents that, or to do something that is
Mm-hmm.
stable, put money in the bank or something, like like the stuff, something like that, that represents that type of energy, if that is what you're trying to manifest. And then you'll start to feel that your actions are more purposeful, that you're not scattered and broad anymore. You're actually day by day painting a bigger picture, a bigger, broader life. And then that's how you get the fulfillment with Mars. And this is what Mars is going to stress us about. So it's going to be pure frustration when we're doing all of that stupid, silly shit that you shouldn't be doing. But because you're restless, and that Sagittarius energy will get you to fuck around and find out too. It's gonna bring that. But the real desire is that fulfilling, is meaning. That's where you're gonna get that satisfaction from. That's what's going to wipe away the anger. That's what's gonna wipe away the frustration. 100%. And then what about Mars squaring Neptune and Pisces in the later degrees of its transit in Sag?
So it's almost like Sat when you first when Mars squared um squared Saturn early on in Pisces. This is almost like you're going through the training or the push against the restriction or the boundary that's going on with your meaning and reason, your subconscious mind, or something like that. And when we now you're gonna have the square with Neptune and Pisces, this is where the floods gate open, and you experience all your meaning and reasoning and all the Pisces energy on a higher level, and on a higher level where you have to now really know uh what to utilize and things like that.
Mm-hmm. 100%. I feel like the square with Saturn and Pisces is like you're seeing like the physical restrictions that your belief systems are having, that is preventing you from having meaningful actions, where it's
Mm-hmm.
like the systems preventing you, like, oh, they won't let me go and start my own religion, or they won't let me go, like that type of shit, where you're mad about the situation of the role that you can play within life. But the Neptune one is more of like an influence type of
Mm-hmm.
control or manipulation, or within your belief system, because everybody believes something to be true, that that fart cloud, that
Yeah, intense fart cloud.
yeah, literally it's preventing you from truly expanding, because as you're expanding, you expand into that fart cloud a little bit, and it discombobulates your expansion. You're like, is that me? Do I want to be, like that's a huge part in terms of expansion,
Mm-hmm.
um that a lot of people don't get. Like, as you grow, like, and that's just within life though. Like, say you're a certain enemy, say you have an enemy, like, say, or a person you didn't like in high school, say time goes on, 5 years, you're outside of high school, like, do you even really not like that person anymore? Did anything that they did really even matter, or really still hold on to you? If you get what I mean, like, certain things just don't stick um for that long term. But yeah, Neptune and Pisces, I feel, is going to be a huge influence, a huge that's going to really challenge us in having meaning, and it maybe it even be a distraction. Oh shit. So remember, we was talking about holy war, holy war, holy war, holy war.
Mm-hmm.
Israel, Palestine, and then look at them talking about West Bank. They're on the coast. Um like the Gaza strips, like on the coast, so they're by water. They're probably being restricted access by
Mm,
sea, and shit like that. So that kind of does fall in within the, and then Mars and Sagittarius fighting over religion, religious beliefs coming to a stand still. And then I wonder if Neptune is either, you know, media influence or media propaganda, using this to kind of control what we think meaningful action is going to be, you know, whether that's swaying niggas to donate to a cause, whether that's swaying niggas to vote in a specific way, swaying niggas to do something in specific ways. It could also take shape and form of say vaccines, or maybe like an illness, something with huge influence that's going to be energetic. Saturn may be a physical one. Saturn is like, you know, like money don't drop the ATM type of shit. Neptune is everybody's freaking out, you know, and it's making you lose your mind, you know, type of, you know, that's how these manifest type of energy. So I feel
mm,
like it's going to be a huge influential wave that's going to really challenge your motivation. It's really going to challenge of whether you are going to be in command of what's meaningful in your life, or you know, is that going to be taken from you, you know, and you just experience frustration.
mm,
Yeah, Neptune and in a mutable sign, like in Pisces right now, like this shit's wild. This shit's
mm.
wild.
You
Like,
know, I bet it feel like you're fighting like ghost, because like Mars and Sagittarius, it's like you're learning your own like spiritual martial arts and whatever. But then with Neptune and Pisces, like you're fighting some thing, something you can't hit, basically.
yo, real talk. Like when I really started realizing, like taking a good look at like the conscious community and shit like that, you know, and you just realize a lot of people are talking about ghosts or like dead end theories, or
Not people
like
talking about
belief
a ghost,
systems,
yeah, haunting them, yo. How their mind is haunted, yo.
like
It's
Elijah Muhammad, Dr.
yeah,
Sebi. You know, it's
yeah,
like, yo,
mother,
like why?
yeah, yeah, niggas talk, yeah, the mothership and things like that.
Like, bro, like, let these niggas rest, yo. Like, goddamn, these niggas' soul is probably in purgatory because y'all won't leave their names out your mouth. Fucking, they can't rest in peace. You keep on calling their name. It's just, it's sad. It's sad. But yeah, Mars being in Sagittarius too. What would you say are like the pitfalls, like the good seeds that we can plant, and how we can take advantage of this transit, Mars being in Sagittarius, and what's one thing that we need to be a aware of or weary of with this transit? Good seed, bad seeds.
Bad seeds would be on how you're gonna disperse your energy in this place here, because you're having all this sun conjunction with Mars, but in Sagittarius, sometimes things could, you have so much broadness and indecisiveness, and then there's it ruled by the fire element, so it deals with like imagination, expression, and things like that. So it's very it's gonna be, you may not be able to sustain and create like some practical heavy like action. That's what I mean based essentially here, and you and it's gonna be so dispersed, you may not end up doing nothing and end up with that whole Sagittarius laziness where you knew but you didn't take action. But so you gotta be careful of that here. Don't basically, like Cece was saying, don't use God for something and end up using for some demonic energy essentially. And the good side here, yeah, and the good side would be essentially you utilizing meaning and reasoning, your experience, your what you learned, and to develop like a principle, wisdom, something to utilize a spaceship, so you could go be ready when Mars goes later on to Capricorn, where you have to really later on build structures. But before you build structures, you need a system, a morality, a meaning, a reasoning, God. That's how you build like almost like a Catholic church or something like that.
100%, man. And
That's why all companies they have mission statements, yo.
so you can align the purpose 100%. And that's why they always have stories. Like I remember working at McDonald's, like they're trying to talk about like this is my McDonald's, like my father run the pace and I'm about to inherit this bitch. Like I'm like, yo, why y'all niggas trying to act like this is a family? Like why? But they probably done the studies and that's what works best and all different type of shit. But you create but they're giving you purpose. You know what I mean? They're trying to put purpose into it, like, oh, you can better the franchise, or just trying to add purpose to you, and then you see that type of shit works, especially for business.
Hmm.
Especially for business, like you don't excel in something that you don't care about.
No, no, 100% too. And like, depending on how much meaning and reasoning there's behind it, it shows like how far you're willing to go for it.
100%. 100%. And that's what the restlessness that we're talking about is going to really to teach you, where exactly how to start to utilize your, like, that information, the knowledge and wisdom of how to use your energy, of how to use your passions, your motivations. You already have it through all of your travels and all of the things that you've been doing up to this point. You If you've been paying attention, more about how to motivate yourself, how to self motivate, how to best exert your energy where you act best, and how you can best bring those things into alignment. Um, you know them things. You
Hmm.
know them things. So it's time to really start applying them, or else we're just going to continue to find those frustrations. What about Mars conjuncting Mercury retrograde as it's on the tail end of leaving this transit in Sagittarius? It's meeting up with Mercury in retrograde. How do you think that's going to play out?
Mercury coming from Capricorn.
Yeah, reversing.
Oh, so it's almost like as Mars, the sun, our point of view, what we're taking, are supposed to take action on our goals, also related to spirituality. And Mars, our passion, desires directed there too to develop a meaning, a reasoning, a system, a morality. And then when they're gonna conjunct Mercury, it's almost Mercury is our mind, our way of thinking is gonna go ahead of us to see what we should build in terms of business status, and when it comes back it's going to return certain information that's going to allow us to prepare for before the sun and Mars together enter Capricorn, where you almost having you have your morality has like some information related to business and status already before you head into that season itself. It's almost
Mm-hmm.
delivering you the message of what you need to do practically before you head into the like the business season, essentially, if you get what I
Mm-hmm.
mean.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Kind of reestablishing what your priorities are supposed to be, of where your energy should be going. 100%. And as Mercury is going in retrograde, into its detriment too, within Sagittarius, it's like a mental challenge. It's like you go into Capricorn and you gain some type of clarity, more ambition, a new level of focus, more responsibilities, and then you start to regress back into the meaning and purpose, and coming up for that. And then Mars in Sagittarius is going to give us the reassurance that we can take on this expansion, that we can be greater than what we were before, that we can utilize the knowledge and wisdom that we have and create a new system in order to lay the groundworks for a new manifestation. This is where we ascend, and it's not necessarily like we can't be looking for these things on a surface level type of thing, like, oh, I'm still making the same amount of money, or I still have these problems. Like God doesn't work on your time like that. It works on a bigger clock, and a lot of changes and transformations are taking process that we just aren't intuitive enough, we're not paying attention enough to take notice. So really start to corral in that focus, that attention, and focus your energy on really using your passions, your motivations, in the right way, in the way that's designed around you, based off of your experiences, your knowledge and wisdom, and how you can self motivate yourself, um, and attach yourself and all your actions to a higher purpose. Even when you go and take a shit, you know, it's a higher purpose because you're cleaning your bowels so that you can have a fresh start, so you can go and conquer the world, so that you can go and take on this goal, so that you can go and overcome this, and you can go and overcome that, even down
Mhm.
to that level, and more meaning and reasoning to your actions. And I guarantee you'll handle these transits with
Oh,
grace.
it's almost like adding a magical thinking, basically, essentially adding allegories
Yeah,
to your life, your actions, so you could have a broader way of seeing what you're taking action on, essentially.
I'm trying to tell y'all, man, like God's always talking to me. Like that's how God talks to you. Like it's gonna throw someone in your life, or something's gonna happen, synchronicities, like shit like that, That's it's not gonna be some nigga coming down apparition, you know, blatantly telling words, even though shit, you know those realities, or there's truth to those realities. But how we start to talk to God is to start listening to the creative force within our life, in terms of the things that we are creating, our relationships, everything, all your interactions. These are where those messages are, and we can really start to be more privy to them. The more we are open to them, all you need to do is just ask. All you really need to do is just ask. That's a lot of things. That's something that we should practice too. Mars and Sagittarius, ask God, ask God for it first, and then take actions. Let what you want be known. Let the ideas of expansions and the things that you believe in, that you want to manifest, let that be known. Take actions upon those things, because you never know what might take root and how things will grow. And you're just going to experience restlessness and frustration if you don't do it. So you're going to feel the release of energy, you're going to feel the fulfillment, even if what you wanted doesn't manifest from it. That's not what you're searching for, but that's the end. But that's a potential that can be obtained. Yeah, for
Hmm.
sure. And then the transit ends on January 4th. And yeah, that's your Mars transit. You have any other comments to close up from Mars? It's transit.
It's all man, I had something to say. It was something related to religion, but I forgot about it completely.
Oh
Okay.
fuck. Mm.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be something related on how man, it was funny. I
I don't
completely
know.
forgot. I apologize.
No worries, no worries, no worries. Um, but yeah, that's Mars and
Oh, oh,
Sagittarius.
okay. I remember now. I remember. Oh, what you were speaking about? How you're supposed to have some form of prayer before you do something, right? But this is exactly why religious people pray before everything. They pray in the morning before they start their day. So Mars
One
is
hundred
Sagittarius.
percent.
It's
Muslim
basically
niggas
that.
pay five times a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I remember what's his name? Hassan from the gym.
Oh
The
yeah, that Palestinian dude. I think. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
remember.
and the nigga would close up the office to do prayers,
To
and that's
pray.
my
Yeah.
first time I witnessed how serious it was. I'm like, nigga, we like, damn, like, God, damn, man, that's serious. But yeah, 100%. That it's powerful, powerful, and the more focus, like, there's certain people, like we have the ability. People looking at devices, like niggas want structured water, or niggas trying to hook up to certain machines, to like heal themselves and stuff like that, or to set things. But like, we have those potentials with our fucking hands. Like, we can change our. You don't need frequency machines. Not saying that don't get one, that there's not benefits to them, but you're the frequency machine, if you get what I mean. Like, you don't need any of this kind of external stuff. But that's exploration. And that's next level stuff that we're about to get into.
Mm.
But yeah, anyways, that's the Mars transit in Sagittarius. Thank y'all for tuning in. Check out our website, TruSpace.biz. Check out the Instagram, TruSpace underscore. And yeah, thank y'all for tuning in. Catch y'all later.
Mhm. Easy. Take care.
Yeah, 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 yeah.